From the headlines that move us
to the plays on the fields and the people making a difference.
It's news, sports, stories, and people that keep our community alive.
This is the heartbeat of Tampa Bay.
I'm Christopher Ingram.
And I'm Sarina Fazan. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone.
Hello, Sarina.
Christopher.
Julie Schaefer from Ad Sharp Web Design does all our graphics here and did our logo for the show, for the company, and she did this amazing cascading, what do you call those, clovers for St. Patrick's Day.
For St. Patrick's Day.
And did you notice there's...
Of course. Can you guys see it? There it went. The green heart.
The one green heart. There it goes. That's for you.
That's so sweet.
Because, of course, your kind of brand
Yes.
is the green eyes with the green heart because you love love and you have beautiful green eyes.
Oh, Christopher, thank you. You always make me feel so great.
Well, you should feel great. You're a wonderful person. So we got an exciting show today.
Yes.
We have the Tampa mayor issue with the attorney general. We're going to talk about that. Also, Tropicana Field, what's going on with Tropicana Field. We've got air travel stories, some crazy stories about what people are doing with so-called seat squatting, air taxis, streaming service charges, and
the Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers.
Wow, some roster shakeups with the Buccaneers. So we have lots to talk about.
All around the NFL, a lot of trades going on this week.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's start with Tampa Mayor Calamity Jane Castor.
Where's my Swiss flag?
Your Swiss flag is right here. We wave it every time Sarina is not going to take a stand.
No, I'm sorry, but I'm a huge Jane Castor fan.
I am not. Surprise, surprise. Or as Gomer Pyle would say, surprise, surprise.
And see, isn't it something, guys, like it's a larger lesson in life, how well you and I get along, but sometimes
we don't always agree.
We don't always agree.
No.
Yeah.
All right, so the Attorney General of Florida, he has said that the city of Tampa is in violation of Florida statute, which says that a city will not provide sanctuary to people who are in our country illegally. Makes common sense, good sense to me, for sure. And that is a state statute. And the city of Tampa is apparently, according to the Attorney General, in violation of that statute, whereby they are providing sanctuary to people who are either criminals or who are here illegally, or illegals who are here, people who are here illegally who are victims of crime. So the statute says you can't give sanctuary to anyone who is illegally in our country. And Calamity Jane Castor and the city of Tampa have a specific order to the police that the police shall not cooperate with ICE officials, particularly when it is a victim of a crime who is here illegally. And the city's argument, Jane Castor's argument, I don't think this is TPD's argument. I think TPD would like to actually enforce laws. But the city's policy is such that they do provide sanctuary to people who are victims of crimes so that they don't fear reporting crimes. How about this? How about go back to your country of origin and come back here legally? Then if you're a victim of a crime, you have no concerns about being deported. I didn't even have to ask you. She's not going to take a position.
No, well, but
tell us.
Okay, but let's stop for 1 minute.
Take a breath.
Yeah, take a breath. Because also with the story, I mean, it's really significant because what they're saying is also that the mayor could be removed from her position. No, it's really serious, clearly. But also, Jane Castor has said that there's a deadline of March 31st as well.
That's the Attorney General's deadline.
The Attorney General's deadline. She did come out and say that they're going to look into this and reevaluate it. Yeah. You know, so it's a very, and believe me, I know it's a very sensitive topic. I will say, I know we're on opposite sides of Jane Castor. I mean, Jane Castor, I feel, was a phenomenal police chief and set records throughout the country for the city of Tampa remaining safe. So
I will agree with you.
Okay.
I think she was a pretty good police chief.
Yeah.
She is an absolute disaster as mayor of Tampa. She is so completely incompetent and not prepared to serve as mayor of a large city like Tampa.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
Whoa, we're going to have to burn the Swiss flag. We're going to have to throw this away. You took a position. I love it.
I actually took a position.
I love it.
But this, this is the broader issue of this as well is you and I have both seen how Governor Ron DeSantis, though, wow, I mean, he does not play around.
He don't fool around.
Andrew Warren was removed.
You're out of here.
He was of course, the Hillsborough County State Attorney. There was the lead prosecutor, I believe Orlando, was removed, right?
For the death penalty argument.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this is, it really is, there's a lot of pressure on Tampa right now.
Absolutely. And Jane Castor, I think she likes her job. It's a nice, cozy, don't really have to do much kind of job, and she can screw it up and there are no repercussions. And so I have always got to get that little dig in. Sorry, Sarina. But Ron DeSantis and the Attorney General, the old saying, FAFO, F around and find out. She don't want to wait and find out. I think that by March 31st, the city is going to be in compliance with state law.
You know what's interesting about it too, while you and I, we were each researching the stories, we still don't know how the story even came out in the first place.
Well, one can guess that some law enforcement officers at Tampa Police Department who prefer to enforce laws, which is what they're sworn to do, don't like politicians telling them they can't enforce laws and cooperate with federal immigration officials, as they should be doing.
And honestly, people should not be afraid to share that type of information, no matter what it is. I mean, that's one of the most beautiful parts, I feel, of this country as a whole, that if you're concerned about something, I mean, even if you do it, anonymously, you should be able to express your concerns.
Point out when government is going wrong, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Well, so it remains to be seen. We got a couple of weeks for this to develop, and we'll see if Mayor Castor goes out. I want to point out one other thing, a little insider baseball. So Alan Clendenning, who leads the Tampa City Council right now, should Mayor Castor, for whatever reason, be removed from office, or if she, for whatever reason, resigned or did something at any point, not just in this case, then the head of the City Council would become the interim mayor. And I just have to say, as someone who knows Alan Clendenning, I don't like the job that Jane Castor has done, but she's not a hyper-partisan person. She actually used to be a Republican until she got married, and her spouse is an ultra-left-wing Democrat, and she kind of moved that way after she got married. But Jane Castor she's not hyper-partisan. Alan Clendenning is a hyper-partisan yellow dog Democrat. He would rather vote for a yellow dog than a Republican, and he scares the crap out of me. So I actually hope that Jane Castor gets in line with state law and does the right thing, follows the law as she should, as she's sworn to do, and that TPD no longer has this policy, and they will in fact be cooperating with federal officials, because Alan Clendenning would be an absolute disaster for the city of Tampa.
Wow, and you're very passionate about that, clearly. I mean,
I know him well.
Yeah. So wow. Well, it's certainly something that we're not only keeping a close eye on. So many other people are. I mean, the country is watching this come out of Tampa. Well, speaking of what we're watching, Christopher, what do you think about potential graves under Tropicana Field?
Unbelievable, right?
The parking lot, right?
Yeah. Well, they did a study a couple of years ago, and I think they detected some abnormalities when they did some sort of a radar of the parking lot, and they're not certain that there are graves there, but this is begging the question, raising it again, as to whether or not there might be. And so the city is going to spend $400,000 doing a study and doing some of these x-rays or radar things to detect whether they're not abnormalities under the ground around Tropicana Field, but they're going to wait till after the baseball season.
After the baseball season. But I'm so glad you brought that up and clarified, because when we don't know if they're graves or not. We don't know, but there were abnormalities, and if there are graves, or if they were, it would be from a historic black cemetery that was that was in that area. So it brings up also many historic questions, like do you feel that the city is doing the right thing by investigating? Forget about politics, forget about race, however you feel about different things in our society that affect different people differently. A grave is a very sacred place for anyone, regardless of what your religion is, your race, or anything. And if at some point graves in this black cemetery have been turned into a parking lot, then something needs to be done to address that. I think in an ideal world, we would remove the parking lot and we would find those graves and we would put an appropriate marker there and some sort of historical signage and recognition of what happened here when we just kind of ignored
the fact that there were black deceased people and we paved a parking lot over them. That's horrible.
Yeah, and it honestly, it's for lack of a better term, or it's comforting to know that officials are doing the right thing in this, because you're right. I mean, it's your loved one.
Yeah.
You know?
Can you imagine?
No,
It's just terrible.
No.
Okay, another story. Air taxis.
Oh my God. Okay, when you first said to me, Sarina, let's look at air taxis today. He calls me Ree, though. Is that not the cutest nickname ever? I love it. So I was like, what? Where? At
air
Tampa.
taxis, yeah.
In Tampa, potentially. As early as 2026 and 2027.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I cannot even imagine.
I just wonder if we have air taxis, are they going to smell like regular taxis do? Because every time, I haven't been in a regular taxi in probably 10 or 15 years, because obviously everybody Ubers. But I can remember when taxis were still a thing, and I would go from the airport to home. Every time you got into a taxi in Hillsborough County, they stunk, the cars were run down, the drivers always claimed that the credit card reader doesn't work, until you say, oh, well, I don't have any cash, and they're like, oh, wait. And they bang on the thing. Oh, now it's working magically.
Yeah.
But air taxis, and
it's so interesting.
Florida's in a pilot program with 8 other states to test the feasibility of air taxis, and one of the locations is going to be between St. Pete and Tampa, which incidentally, did you know that the first commercial air flight ever flown was from St. Petersburg to Tampa in 1914.
No way! Yeah. I did not know that.
Yeah. First in the world, commercial airline flight.
Ever?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. What a fun fact.
They had paying passengers who flew from St. Pete to Tampa. It took 24 minutes, and it was the first time people paid to be on an airplane.
Oh my gosh! So how appropriate that we are part of this pilot program. You know, it's really interesting because I looked too. Like I was thinking, gosh, air taxis. How much is that going to cost? So they're saying like $3 to $6 a mile, maybe. Which is, you know, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's cheap, but it's not like over. Like I was thinking,
it's not
it would
crazy.
Be,
like renting a helicopter.
Right. So, and they're doing that because to help alleviate traffic
congestion.
Yeah.
They call these eVTOLs, electronic vertical takeoff and landing apparatuses, airplanes, kind of drone-ish. And some of the questions that need to be answered are things like noise, where they're going to fly from, and how that they might possibly interfere with existing air traffic patterns, and that they want to prevent that from happening, where they're going to be charging, those kinds of things. So there's a lot of questions to be answered. You don't just snap your fingers and overnight have this, but I mean, it's like the Jetsons are actually a real thing now.
Isn't it something like as a child, I would never have imagined, right? I used to love that show. You love that
the
show
Jetsons,
too, right?
Yeah, heck yeah. It was
cool.
God,
it was so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's Delta Airlines, right? It's a smaller company, but Delta Airlines is the parent. Yeah, the parent company is what they're saying. But no, but it does. It reminds me of the Jetsons.
I mean, and like we can talk on our watch and watch TV on our phones. Like it's so like the Jetsons era is here and moving faster than anyone could have ever imagined.
And who would have imagined?
It's super cool.
I know. Speaking of airlines, and I just mentioned Delta. Wowzer. Have you read about or seen all this seat squatting on major airlines?
It's crazy what people will do. I mean, like the fact that people are so entitled that they can do this. Like, tell us about what you learned about it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's going viral, and it's a lot of the airlines are affected. Southwest, United, Delta, just name the airline. But there was one case where a guy on Southwest, like how soon they're going to assign seats, I think, in Southwest, right? But right now, you know how you go in and you choose seats? He put items on all the seats to make it look like they were occupied so he could get the whole row.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. But so that one is,
the entitlement.
The entitlement is rude.
But
right?
there's some other examples too,
right? Listen to this one. This is amongst my favorite. There's a male passenger. He sits in first class. Not that it matters male or female, but he sits in first class.
Those damn men.
It's not his seat. He's supposed to be sitting in economy. So he sits in first class. The person who actually has that seat comes up to him and says,
"You're in my seat,
You're in my seat." Refuses to move until the flight attendant comes and says, "Sir, you've got to go back there."
They should have kicked him off the plane.
Honestly, like now, you bring up a whole other topic, like how you're scared to even say anything on a plane. But for something like that, and then what about this one? this one really makes me so super sad, because why would you use your child for this? Like, there are people, they're saying they put their child in the more desired seat. So like put him
like
in
an exit row, or
an exit row,
or
the
an
window,
aisle,
or an aisle, or a window seat, in hopes that the traveler, the person who actually has that seat, sympathizes and says, all right, go ahead and have that seat, and I'll sit in the middle seat. Now, okay, I can honestly tell you, I am one of those people. If I saw a child, I'd be like, okay, well, you know.
Yeah, you have a big heart.
But it puts the travel. But why? How could you use your child for that?
That's pretty bad.
I think so, and it puts the traveler in a very uncomfortable position. You know, the person who actually has that seat. But it goes to the, I don't know, the mentality of some people.
It's crazy. Again, I just keep using the word entitlement. I think people are entitled. So I got a question for you. What's your thought on putting the seat back?
Okay, so I honestly, I'm 5'6", right? So if there's someone tall, really tall behind me that's already maybe kind of uncomfortable, I don't ever put my seat back.
You don't?
Do
you like size them up first and see if they're short or tall?
If it's a child, then maybe I might a little bit. I guess I'm conscientious of that. So I typically, I'm not saying that people should not. I mean, you should be able to do whatever you want. I guess I have a lot of people in my life, a lot of men that I care about, including you, Christopher, that are tall. that are over 6 feet tall. And I know when you're sitting on a plane,
it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it can be very uncomfortable. So, my dad is tall, Ted is tall, you're tall. So a lot of them, my brothers are tall. Yeah. Well, my one brother is tall. Sorry, Sean. So I guess I'm just conscientious of it.
Yeah. Well, I think, first of all, there are a couple of airlines. I think I recently flew for the first time on Spirit Airlines, and if my recollection is correct, their seats don't tilt back.
Right.
And I think that's probably the trend. But it's kind of a domino effect. If the person in front of you puts theirs back, you're going to want to punch yours back. I put mine back, and I always try to give like a little bit of warning. Yeah. Kind of press the button a little bit and jiggle it, let them know I'm coming, or, maybe even say, hey, I'm going to tilt my seat back or whatever. But, as far as I'm concerned, that's your seat that you paid for. And if it comes with a button that allows you to kick it back, that is your space. The space behind the seat is the next person's space. And then they can tilt their seat back too and have the equal amount of space. I'm pretty cut and dried on that. How about this question? If you're in the middle seat, right? Which is the worst because you're like this. Who gets the armrest?
Well, it's so funny because I always end up in the middle seat because people I always fly with, one wants the window and one wants the aisle, which is fine. So I always end up in the middle, and I find I don't
you're
get
like this the whole time. If you're with people in your party, you would think like infringing a little bit would be okay. But if it's a total stranger, do you do I guess you're doing the same thing if you're in between two strangers too, huh?
Yeah,
that's
I do.
The worst.
I do.
That's the worst.
Well, here's, speaking of trivia or fun facts, this is just a Fazan fact. Whenever, and I did a video on this, so whenever I book a flight, I always try to sit in seat 23. No, not because of Michael Jordan, but because my daughter's birthday is on the 23rd. So I always get the 23rd. So Sammy said to me, she goes, Mama, why do you always go to the back of the plane? Because it's closer to the back of the plane. And I said, listen, girl, your birthday month is May, which is 5. And I would love to sit in seat 5, which is first class. So I said, let's manifest that.
She'd probably be fine with that, right?
Yeah, let's manifest the career. Let's manifest the show that we're, and then, and then we'll be sitting in first class.
One other story related to airlines. Southwest, they recently did away with seating yourself, right? And now it's no longer a cattle call. You have an assigned seat. Did you know that one of the reasons why Southwest went to that, now part of it was because of money. They can charge more by people having to pay to upgrade. But one of the reasons they did that is because they had so many people that were bogusly requesting wheelchairs when they got to the airport so that they could be rolled onto Southwest during pre-boarding. And they said that 80% of the people, by their estimates, 80% of people requesting wheelchairs were BS. They did not need a wheelchair. And they said on some flights, they had as many as 100 requests for wheelchairs on one flight.
See, that's, honestly, come on.
It's crap.
It's horrible. That's horrible. That is horrible.
Like, what the hell is wrong with people?
Right. I mean, that is really...
The entitlement. Again, it's entitlement. Like, I'm better than everyone else, and I need to be treated, unbelievable. So anyhow, that's one of the reasons.
Wow.
Okay, streaming services. Everybody streams. Hardly anybody has cable. The worst business to be in right now is cable company. Right? It's kind of like when electricity came out, you didn't want to be a candle maker.
Right.
You don't want to be a cable company anymore because of streaming. The number of people streaming and cutting the cable cord has obviously been a story for a long time. But now people are starting to cut the streaming services because they're so expensive. By some estimates, people on average in the U.S. are spending $270 a month on streaming services.
Isn't that something? And now so many people are thinking, okay, maybe we go back to cable, because the advantage of cable, of course, all live sporting events you can typically see. You know, if it's within your area, you get most of the channels. I know. I mean, I typically do not do this. I was kind of proud of myself. I actually had my credit card statements and I was going through. And I did notice there were double, like sometimes, you'll get those things, start a free trial, and then you don't mean to start it.
You forget about it.
You forget about it. You don't mean to start it, or you have multiple, like Amazon Prime accounts. Like you might have one on your child's account, then one on your account. So it's true. You're paying, you need to pay attention to how much, when I say you, all of us need to pay attention to how much we're paying for streaming, and then really take a look at it. Like if you're paying for 2 or 3, then you're probably okay. But if you find yourself paying for so many more, I mean, just look into whether cable could be more affordable for you.
Well, another thing they do, I fell to this. I got an offer for Stars for $20 a year for the introductory for the first year, 1 year, $20. And then I forgot to cancel it. I think I turned on Stars 3 times. I thought their programming was horrible, which is why they can barely give it away. But then I forgot when the annual $20, it was literally $20 for the whole year. And then it came renewal time and they charged me the full amount for the next year. And, I had to fight with them to get my money back.
What was the full amount?
It was a couple $100.
Yeah, see that, wow. I mean, that's a lot. That is a lot.
You know what I miss about cable? I miss that you would turn it on and it doesn't take time to load. And I miss having the clicker and being able to punch in, all right, I want to watch channel 129 or 17 or whatever. And now you have to scroll down, you just keep scrolling to get to the channel that you want. I kind of miss having that guide which showed the actual channel number that you could punch in if you wanted to, like your favorite channel at 6 o'clock or whatever.
It's really interesting though, like how now could be bouncing back to that. I know what you mean.
Well, I think that the streaming services are going to start seeing more and more people cut back, and a lot of people are, in order to save money, are going back to the ad, Hulu with ads or Netflix with ads because the non-ad versions are so expensive. Well,
one of the great things that can be about cable, what we talked about, are live sporting events. Like I have Spectrum, right? Going to the Bucks, and because we have got to talk about
the Bucks.
Football, we get to talk about football on the show. But live sporting events are such a huge draw, and I love having cable during that time. And I bring that up because we've got to talk about Mike Evans. And
we're going to talk about Mike Evans. And we also have to talk about what you're doing next week too.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Should we talk about Mike Evans first, or
let's talk about Mike Evans first, and we'll close on your
on my little adventure.
Journeys.
On my little adventure.
Yes.
Okay, so I love Mike Evans, but he's leaving us.
Yeah, 11 years. With the Bucks.
He's going to San Francisco.
He had 11 seasons with over 1,000 yards. He's their number 1 receiver, number 1 touchdown maker.
He's amazing. But he's going for a $75 million contract, like $25 million per year for 3 years.
To the Niners.
Yeah. I mean, what a move. It's interesting because John Lynch, of course, is part of the Niners, and he was a former Buccaneer, of course, as well. But they're saying that they're doing that huge roster shakeup with Mike Evans, of course, being at the very top, because they need to get maybe younger players or players that they can really
develop their way around Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. Because, I mean, we had so many close losses last year. It was 8-9, but the bottom line is, you have said so many times, Christopher, it doesn't matter if it was close. It doesn't matter if it was a point. The bottom line, it's a win or a loss.
Right. It all comes down to wins and losses.
Yeah.
Well, so related to that, a lot of teams, the trade started this last week. So all across the NFL, I've seen a lot of trades. I'm a Dolphins fan. They finally got rid of terrible Tua. He's gone to Atlanta. Guess how much they're paying Atlanta? Atlanta's paying Tua for a 1-year contract.
How much?
$1 million.
Get it out. That's it?
Or whatever the minimum, maybe it's like 1.4. It's league minimum.
Wow.
But the reason why they're able to do that, because I mean, Tua, even though he was horrible last year in Miami, and I'm glad that they got rid of him, he's worth more than league minimum.
Right.
But because of the way that his salary was structured, his contract with Miami Dolphins, Miami has to pay him $99 million to get rid of him.
No way.
$99 million in dead money that goes against the cap.
Okay, so they have to pay him $99
million.
It's so, I mean, clearly then, I mean, 99, then he accepts it for
Atlanta.
$1 million.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, when you're still healthy at that level, I know he didn't play well for Miami, but you want to stay in the game.
Yeah.
You want to stay in the game. And so it's like, okay, he gets the 99 already, so.
And Miami picked up Malik Willis from the Green Bay Packers. He was there last year, and the year before that he was at Tennessee. And I think he got like a 3-year, I don't know, $50 million contract. I'm not exactly sure, but money.
So what do you think of him, though?
I don't know if he's the answer to Miami's prayers, but clearly Tua wasn't cutting it. So let's try somebody new. We'll see. I think they feel like he's someone we can develop into a star quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got a really strong arm, but he hasn't had a whole lot of performance in the NFL yet, so it remains to be seen.
Wow, so interesting.
Football, we're both missing football.
I know, we're both missing football. See, they'll be here, though, before we know it.
Okay, so it's St. Patrick's Week, right? And
Yes.
you are going on another trip.
I know, it just gotta happen.
You should be going to Ireland.
I know, I should be going to Ireland.
But you're going to tell us.
I am telling you. I've never been to Ireland, though, so that's on the bucket list. But so I actually am blessed to go. We're going to Amsterdam for a couple days, and then Bologna, Italy.
Bologna.
Yes, it's one of the food capitals of the world.
The foodie capital of the world, one of them.
And Buddy, our amazing director,
producer,
director, he has called me so sweet. He said that I'm like an international correspondent.
Yeah, so we're gonna get you
absolutely
live on the show next week.
Absolutely, let's talk about.
We got the link ready for you.
Yeah.
And so you want me to tell you what I'm gonna ask you?
Yeah, sure.
So you're gonna be in Bologna.
Yeah, in Bologna.
Right? Where you're gonna have great food. And you're normally, where's your flag? Give me your flag. You're normally Switzerland. You don't like to take a position. So what if I were to ask you, Sarina, is the food that you're eating in Bologna better than the Chef Boyardee you had when you were home? Are you going to wave the Swiss flag, or are you going to own up to they got better food in Bologna?
I may have to wave the red flag now, of course. I mean, that was so funny that when you asked me that before. Or who was it that someone said, Christopher, you're going to ask her that question?
Yeah.
Because Chef Boyardee, I think maybe you should. No offense to Chef Boyardee. Of course.
Are you a Chef Boyardee person?
Well, no offense to Chef Boyardee, but maybe we compare it to something else.
A good Italian restaurant in Tampa.
Or something like that. Yeah, because rather than out of no offense.
What do you got against Chef Boyardee? See, you're doing that. You're like trying to play it down. Don't upset Chef Boyardee. You're hilarious. You're going to have so much fun. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
And your wonderful boyfriend, Ted, he was so kind and took me out charter fishing with him the other day. And we had such a good time and caught a ton of fish. He is a heck of a fisherman.
You know what? Honestly, what we should do on this show, he said that you caught the biggest fish. I think you should include that picture in this show. It was huge.
I caught the biggest fish, but he caught the most fish. Yeah. And it's just luck.
I was just so happy that you guys had a chance to do that. Did. It was the pictures looked great. It was such a beautiful day.
It was fun.
It's awesome.
We are going to have Misty Carlson here filling in for you next week.
She's so lovely.
She is awesome.
Inside and out. She's such a wonderful lady.
But we'll miss you. And we're going to try to do a remote link with you.
Yes, for sure.
All right?
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds great.
Every story shared
adds another heartbeat to Tampa Bay.
From courage to community.
We are so proud to tell the stories that keep our neighborhood strong.
Thanks for watching The Heartbeat of Tampa Bay.
Nice.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
You too.